Here are 15 things that you should not waste your money on. Let's jump straight into it. The first thing is impulse purchases. And impulse purchases were buying something that you do not need, but you bought it just in the moment. Maybe you were just scrolling on social media and you saw a good ad, or you were just in the store and something caught your eye. If you don't want this to happen to you, you should definitely stick to a shopping list before you go out. And if it's a bigger purchase, you could actually just wait 24 hours to see if you really want it. And sometimes in that 24 hours, you would change your mind. Another thing that you could do is if there's constant social media accounts that you keep buying from, you could unfollow them so you don't see them in your feed. The second thing that you should not waste your money on are gym memberships. Now, if you're going to the gym and sticking to a routine and going 5 or 6 times a week, then this might be right for you to have a gym membership. But lots of people just end up going a couple times a month, and it really might not make sense to have that gym membership every month. Instead of spending money on that gym membership, you can find other ways to work out for free, like going on walks, going on runs, or just using bodyweight exercises at home. The third thing is subscriptions. Having subscriptions for things that you want is completely fine as long as you use that service, but lots of people have subscriptions that they might not even know about that are constantly taking money out of their accounts every month. So to stop wasting money on this, you could periodically review your subscriptions that you do have to see if there's any that you can cancel. And if you do actually end up canceling these, you might actually find cheaper or freer alternatives to the one that you were paying for. You just have to look in the right places. The next thing that you should probably not waste your money on are payment plans. Now, for some larger purchases online, you could opt into a payment plan where instead of paying the full price of that purchase, you could periodically split that up into monthly payments until that item is paid off. The only bad thing with this is that you're going to be paying interest on that monthly amount that you're spending. So when all said and done and you think you've paid that item off, you've actually paid a lot more than if you would have just bought it outright. So as an example, here is a item that is worth $3,200, and you can see that you can pay for 36 months $110.93 per month. While this might sound really good because you're paying a lot less, you can actually see it's charging you 15% annual percentage rate, which in turn, after all is said and done and everything's paid off, you're going to be paying $793.48 in interest, bringing your total to around $4,000, so almost $800 more than if you would have just paid it outright day one. So if you can't buy something outright, it might make sense to hold off on that and save money if you do want to purchase an item instead of paying that interest. The next thing that you can do that is really avoidable is to stop paying money on late fees. If you don't pay off your expenses like your utilities or credit cards, you could encounter late fees that could add up really quickly. So a simple solution just to avoid this is set up reoccurring payments where it automatically takes money out of your account to pay for these expenses, or you could have reminders on your phone and let you know when the day is that you need to pay off that payment. This is especially true with credit cards because if you have constant late fees that could impact your credit score and you do not want that to get dinged. The next thing to definitely not spend your money on is lottery tickets and gambling. To put it in perspective, you have about a 1 in 292.2 million chance of winning in the Powerball lottery. You actually have a greater chance of dying or getting injured by a lightning strike, which is around a 1 in 1,222,000 chance. Now, I'm not saying that you should never gamble or go out and get lottery tickets. It's good to have some entertainment money that you can use for these activities, but just do not make it a habit where you constantly go out and get lottery tickets or you constantly go to the casino, because the odds are not in your favor and you'll eventually just lose money. The next item is clothing fads. Now this is kind of a two-parter. The first one is trendy clothing items. You might find something that's trending right now and you buy it, and then you realize you might not want to have it when that trend dies out and you will never end up wearing it. To stop this, you should stick to simple and quality clothing that will last a long time. And going off of that quality, you shouldn't buy really cheap clothing because it might deteriorate and wear out very quickly. Instead, if you buy a little bit nicer clothing, you can have that for a long time. So one high quality shirt could last the same amount as 5 really low quality shirts. Another thing a lot of people do is waste their money on phones. Every year, if a new iPhone or Samsung phone comes out, they always want the newest and greatest technology, but you could save a lot of money by just keeping your old phone. These phones last a long time, 5 or 6 years if you want to have them for a while. So if your phone's not broken and still works, it makes sense to just hold on to that phone and save your money. Next up is fast food. Now with inflation going up and everything getting more expensive, fast food is no different, with fast food getting a lot more expensive. You can save a lot of money by just making your own meals and not going out to get this fast food, and it'll generally be a lot healthier and cheaper. Now again, it's good to treat yourself once in a while by going out and getting things like fast food, but just don't make it a habit and you'll end up saving a lot of money. Similar to fast food, you can also save a lot of money by not ordering food on services like DoorDash and Uber Eats. Apps like DoorDash and Uber Eats come with really high service fees, as well as you have to tip the driver that's actually delivering your food. So on top of the high fast food prices, you're also paying a very high premium in getting that food delivered to you. So it's more wise if you are just going out to eat to pick up your food yourself, and you can avoid those fees. Another big food related item is coffee. A lot of people go out and buy coffee before work every day, and while it might not seem much every day, like $5, that can really add up over time. So instead, you can save your money by just making your coffee at home. Investing in a good high quality coffee maker can save you a lot of money down the road. And by having a coffee maker, it gives you full control on how you can make that coffee, so it can be right every time you make it. Next up is having a cable subscription. Now, most cable subscriptions have a lot of channels, and it's almost impossible for you to watch every single channel that the cable provider offers. Instead, you can narrow that down and get other streaming apps like Hulu and Netflix and have more control on what you can watch. And oftentimes, these third parties like Netflix and Hulu are generally cheaper than the cable service. And another free alternative to cable would be YouTube. There's tons of free videos that you can watch all over YouTube on all different various subjects. Next up that people waste their money on is gas. Now, it's very easy to not waste a lot of money on gas by getting apps kind of like Gas Buddy. Apps like Gas Buddy allows you to see exactly where the cheapest cost gas stations are in your area. This allows you to drive to those cheapest gas stations and save a couple cents or a couple dollars on that gas. Now, it might not be big savings, sometimes it might only be a 10-cent difference, but given enough time and a lot of gallons later, it could actually add up a lot. Expedited shipping is another thing that people spend their money on that they probably shouldn't. On FedEx, Amazon, UPS, any carrier like that, you can have the option to have your shipping delivered to you quicker by just paying a small premium. Instead of paying these premiums for your goods to get delivered to you quicker, you can instead plan ahead so you do not have to pay that premium, and you could just wait a couple more days. This will allow you to save a couple extra bucks here and there when you do buy stuff online. The next thing that you should probably not waste your money on is plastic water bottles. Now, these can be a big waste of money, and at the end it just leaves you with a big mess of plastic that you have to clean up. I know when I lived in my apartment, I would always use water bottles to drink water. Not only were they heavy, but they also made that big mess of plastic that I would have to clean up, and it was just all over my apartment. Now, instead of doing this, you could get like a metal reusable water bottle that you could fill up throughout the day, so you don't have to have those plastic water bottles. Or if you're using tap water and don't like it, you could always get like a Brita or a water filter to make that water taste a lot better. Doing this will help you save a couple extra bucks by not having to get those big plastic water bottles. And those are 15 things that you should probably not spend your money on. I hope you found this video helpful and learned something. I will see you in the next one. Bye.